I noticed it, and then that's when, I mean, I remember there was times that I got beat up numerous times in school. I never really lost, but I did get into a fair, because when it would go to time to do your book reports, mine was on like Malcolm X and the Civil Rights Acts and Martin Luther King. So it was about, I was about 13 or 14 was when I started noticing it. And then that's when I really started seeing the faults in white America.
Oh, now that's a perspective.
It is, isn't it?
My goodness,
Absolutely.
yeah.
You know, and from a very young age too.
Yeah, it just made me sick.
Right.
Because the church that I grew up in, was right there on Branch Street, literally right off 70. If you get off the highway, you would run into the church that I grew up in. We've had plenty of times where homeless guys came in and wanted to try to shoot us up, and or they would come in begging for money. So we kind of set up like a little food pantry to feed them and stuff like that.
See, why can't we all get along and come up with solutions like that?
That's the beginning of that conversation right there.
Right, and that's the problem. And it's funny because now that we say that, that brings me to the point that I was wanting to make about America Inside Out with Katie Couric.
Right. Oh, yes. We'll talk about that. I'm trying to get
good
the stuff that I say. Right.
Oh, wait. Should we do the... Damn, we should do the plugs.
Oh, and also, this is a station break because we've been so busy. We're sitting up here with our guests. Let's do a station break.
There you go.
We've got our guest, Louis J. Kincaid, with us. We're here on Ferguson, USA, HotTalkRadio.com. And go ahead and plug in our.
You can find us on Facebook at Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio. You can also watch us. Well, you'll watch Lynn B on her page, but you'll hear me and Louis. And if you want to call in, call 314-388-9622. So, last week we were talking. I said, "Hey, I watched this really, really good show about white anxiety."
Right. This was really good.
I was like, this was crazy. And you're like, what do you mean? I go, it's on, yes, it was on National Geographic. It's Katie Couric. It's called America Inside Out. So it's basically what Katie Couric does. She goes out among America.
Yes.
So her first episode was one on white anxiety. And she went to, what was that town? Where they sat down with the fire department.
Where was that? Can't remember.
Because that's the police.
I want to say it was the South.
It was north. It was north.
Was it north? Okay.
Yeah, that's the police. It was in the middle, Midwest. That's the police chief that we want to reach out to and talk at that time.
Was it in Ohio?
No, it wasn't in Ohio.
Where was that? I can't remember.
It was Indiana.
It might have been, but okay, go ahead and talk about that point because that was such a great point.
Yeah, so they're sitting there and they're having pizza.
Right.
And she's asking the guys, well, what do you guys think about this? And these guys are like,
what do you think about Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? And this one guy goes, well, I don't like these guys that are kneeling on the football field. It started with one, and this guy's a white, he was adopted by white parents. He grew up with white privilege, and I'm just sitting there going, okay, right here, buddy. I got some daycare juice for you. Just be quiet.
So bad, baby.
I'm like, okay, dude, whatever, man. And another one's like, well, it's all lives matter.
Right.
Okay, sure. You want to look literally? Yes. Okay, literally, all lives matter. Yes. You want to look at? Yes, they do.
Exactly.
But that's not the point that we're trying to make. And the other guy's like, he said something. He's like, yeah, I just don't get it. Why do you got to kneel? These soldiers died for them. Okay, you're right. The soldiers did die for them. The soldiers also died for our First Amendment rights, our freedom of speech, our freedom of assembly, our freedom to press. They died for all that. If those piece of garbage child raping fools in Westboro, Arkansas can say God hates fags, then you can say whatever you want. If they're allowed to do it, then anybody should be able to say what they're allowed to do. So then the black firefighter came in.
Right.
Okay.
And they go, and on cue, Carlos comes in.
And right on cue.
Right on cue.
Exactly.
So they sit down and they ask Carlos, what is your opinion on Black Lives Matter? And Carlos says, have you ever walked in my shoes to worry about walking out your door, getting in your car? I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Getting in your car, getting pulled over, and being beaten. He goes, and basically he's like, it's never happened to me here. He goes, but it happens
All the time.
all over.
Right. He also mentioned lynching. He said
Yep,
we're talking about the lynching.
And then
back in the
they're
day.
flashing pictures of men being hung,
Right.
and guys being lynched and being beaten and being just their backs looking like hamburger. And to me, it makes me angry, it makes me sick, and I want to throw something through my TV. But if I did that, my wife would get mad at me.
Well, the thing about it is, it just has to bring it to a dialogue.
Exactly.
Right, because one of the things, because we talked about this episode, he told me about it, and of course, since I'm retired, I sat there and I watched like 3 episodes, and I'm like, dude, you got to watch the other episodes.
This is Katie.
It's a really good show.
Geographic, right?
Because she plays both sides of the story.
She really does. But what I liked about her is when she sat down and spoke with the black guy, Carlos. She asked him, "What do you think?" And so he just started explaining. You know, we're still dealing with the lynching that we went through back in the '60s, and we're now looking at a lot of that stuff happening again. So yeah, we do wonder if Black Lives Matter, because these people that were lynching us have the same mindsets as the people that are killing us now. And like I told Dirty, I said, now here's what's amazing to me. When they showed a shot around the other 4 white guys that were also part of this fire station. Yep. They all were like, yeah, I never thought about it that way. And then the chief just goes, he said, well, you know what, Carlos, I'm going to be honest with you. We've never really brought it up because we don't want you to feel uncomfortable. No, boo. You didn't want to feel uncomfortable. That's what that was, right? And
I just want to talk about football.
And that's what he said. Yeah, we just want to talk about football. But you know what? When you got people dying in the streets, a person that can't even make a living to support his family because he had the right notion to protest the things that were happening, and you want to talk about football, this is why this show is so important.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Is he on there?
Oh, no, I don't know. Are you there? Go ahead, John.
Well, I'm putting your guy on my speaker.
The thing about this, let's get to the professional side.
Okay.
The thing about professional athletes is that they're pretty much high-price players. Okay? No, let's say pretty much that's exactly what they are. Because they have clauses in those contracts that stipulates that you are not to make any social outbursts. You're not supposed to align yourself with any social causes and all things like that. Because they're on a very, very, very short retractable leash. Okay?
I disagree with that.
Joe, I'm going to have to disagree because...
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you why I say that.
Okay.
Because if they're not, why does Colin Kaepernick and every other athlete, black, white, or what have you, that supported the kneeling, why are they coming under attack? And they're not just coming under attack from the public, they're coming under attack from the owners who are in the shadows as usual, throwing rocks and hiding their head. So what I'm saying is, when LeBron James left Cleveland back in 2010 or whatever,
okay,
Jesse Jackson made a very important statement. He said, let's treat LeBron James as if he was a runaway slave. Well, guess what? That's exactly what they saw him at.
Yeah.
Because he did not fulfill a promise. They feel he did not fulfill a promise that he made when he won the championship to Cleveland.
Well,
now, let's take 3-4 years ago, he returns to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? 2 years later, they win a championship. Okay? They come back from a 3-1 deficit, which no team in NBA history has ever done. There have been teams much better than the Cleveland Cavaliers that should or could have come back from a 3-1 deficit. That was all staged. Come on now, let's be for real about it. But the thing is,
I won't agree with that either. Go ahead.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Lakers fan, but I have to call it for what it is. For what I see it is anyway. It's all rigged. I don't care what you say, this stuff is all rigged. They tell whoever it is they want to win. They tell whoever it is they want to lose. And you better follow orders. Because the thing is this. I'm
the Illuminati of football field.
I'll tell you this, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Right.
And I'm telling you, how do you control the world and not control professional sports?
Okay, go ahead, Lewis.
You did not want to get me started.
I mean,
I did not. how can I say this? I've shared my blood when it comes to sports. Played it since I was a kid, high school, college. Have two nephews, one who's on the Steelers as a coach. The other one's at Oklahoma State. They're brothers, and one is in college, one is in the professional game. I follow the sport. I follow sports in general. I cannot disagree more with the whole thing of sports being rigged, or that somehow the Cavaliers were paid off, or whatever it was for them to win. That's just sports in general. But let me get back to the whole thing of the high-priced slave. What people may perceive as a slave, I'm not going to tell that individual NFL player that he is a slave. Now, if a player in the NFL, and they have said this in the last few years, they feel like they're slaves or this, that, and the other. You know what? I'm just not. I can't buy it. I cannot buy what a slave was 150 years ago, and what they had to deal with that I've never had to deal with, and somehow I'm going to tell somebody that gets every 2 weeks $525,000 after taxes every 2 weeks, that somehow he's a slave. No, I'm not. I can't go there. I can't do it. I cannot do that. So I'm going to separate what slavery meant 150, 200 years ago versus what we're dealing with now. Now, people's perceptions of black athletes now, yeah, they may look at us like that, or them as professional athletes, but they, and some of them do feel like they're treated as slaves. You're not a slave. You're not Denzel Washington as he was depicted in Glory.
Oh, what a great movie.
You're not that guy. So I got to separate those two. Go ahead.
Okay.
Or Dirty, if you have something, you go ahead.
Okay. So sports is a very, very powerful medium for people to get their message across. I've never seen an NFL contract or an MLB contract or an NBA contract or a hockey contract where they have said they're not allowed to speak on social issues. It's just in today's society. What I thought that when the Rams were here and they did the whole hands up, don't shoot thing, I loved it. I loved that those guys went out there, and I loved that they did it. Colin Kaepernick, the reason why he's no longer in the NFL is because he's not a very good quarterback. He should have never been drafted. He was garbage, and that's why he's gone. When he took a knee, I loved it. I thought it was great because he was standing there for a message. I remember what year was the Olympics when the two guys stuck their hands up in the air to show unity. And I loved that.
Yeah,
right.
Tommy Smith, John Carter.
And I loved when you watched possibly the greatest athlete to ever live, Jesse Owens, go over there, win literally almost every single gold medal, and shove it right up Hitler's ass. I loved it. Sports is a powerful medium.
That was not rigged, by the way.
Yeah,
Jesse Owens winning those medals, that was not rigged.
So, like, when
I want to say this. This is the thing. The easiest way to pull something off is to do it right under people's noses. Okay? They do it every day. They do it all the time. They've always done it.
Oh, I agree with that.
We trick into believing that it's true, that it's just untrue. But I'm saying it's not for me to say what someone should or shouldn't believe. These are just some of the beliefs that I've come away with over the past, I'll say, couple of decades or so.
Okay.
We've all heard rumors as to, hey, this was this and this was that. We've all seen games where, hey, how come the referee made that call? How come he didn't make this call over here? We've all heard, we've all had our moments. But the thing is, there's a book, I can't remember who the author is, The $40 Million Slave, and they talk about it. And so my thing is, I haven't read the book, but I had the notion even before the book came out. So my thing is this, whether we believe in that they're real or not, I'm going to throw Serena Williams in there for a minute. Okay. Serena Williams, possibly the greatest tennis player of all time.
Wait, no, there's no possible. John, there's no possible. She is. She is the greatest.
I agree with you, but for those who believe otherwise, hey, whatever. But what I'm saying is, look at the situation she's involved in. Now, this is just my personal belief now, because I look at things a lot deeper than, I don't know, but I just look at things for Yeah, the X-ray vision has been turned on, so to speak.
Okay.
Now she's with this guy, Alexis Ohanian, right? Alexis Ohanian, and she has a child. Now this is just my personal belief. She married down, and I'm not saying she married down because he's a white guy. I'm saying she married down because she's worth 150 million and he's only worth 6. Okay, that's marrying down to me. But what I'm saying is, she gets pregnant. She's dated multiple black guys and so forth and all that. But she gets pregnant with this guy's baby. She married him. My belief personally is, if she had not married him, she would never even get close to another Grand Slam championship in her career. She's at 23 now. She needs 2 more to set the all-time record. And the reason I believe that is because there's certain things going on behind the scenes that we will never know about. I call it the Oz effect, okay?
I'm sorry, did you call that the Oz effect?
The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Some people ask me questions and say, you know what, I'm the wizard. So in other words, I don't believe what they want us to believe or what they put out before our eyes. You know, when Dorothy looked behind the curtain and met the Wizard of Oz, she said, wow, is this all there is to it? You mean you're the one lighting up the yellow brick road? You're the one making the flying monkey slide, the witches and all that? He's pulling levers, pushing buttons, he's back there doing the homework. So that's what I mean when I say that. So it's not what you see that you should believe, because there's a lot more going on to it than you think.
Absolutely. Just things going on behind the scenes. Well, the thing, you know what, John? The thing that surprised me about the whole Serena Williams and this guy was, where did he come from? I remember seeing pictures when she was dating Common. I thought they looked so cute together. And then all of a sudden, they had broke up, and he's dating a little CNN news lady. And then all of a sudden, Serena's pregnant with this baby. It's like, what? Where did all this come from?
And let me check this out. I was looking at a championship she won last year. Chris Evert said something very interesting. From what Serena's account was, she didn't even know this guy liked her. But all of a sudden, she was pregnant by the guy, and then not too long after they were married. My thing is, Chris Evert said, well, they've been dating for 2 years. I'm like, hey, yeah, it's like all of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere. You know, she doesn't even know he likes her and all like that. So I'm like, there's a lot more to the story. But like I said, certain powers that be, if you don't get with this person, because I believe they put certain people together for certain reasons.
Sure.
I don't know why, but I think they do. But I think if she had refused this guy and not had a kid by this guy, she would have never gotten here. And she still hasn't. She hasn't come back in full effect as of yet. But I don't think she would have ever had a chance of getting near another Grand Slam championship. She's at 23. She's 2 away from the all-time record. Come on.
Well, she's actually. I follow women's tennis. She's actually only 1 away.
Is she?
Yeah. 23 versus 24.
Right.
And technically, Margaret Court won the tennis championships before what's considered the Open era. I mean, Serena actually has won the most in the Open era, but Margaret Court has 24. But that was one or a few of them were pre-Open era. So, you know, you can. It's almost similar to the records before Jackie Robinson played baseball and the records after. So, you know, Serena is up there at the top. Again, for me, it's Serena. She loves what she loves. I don't know if there's any conspiracy in terms of whether she can't win another championship or prevents her from winning another, or now she can win another because she got married.
Just saying that. We're going to have to do an Illuminati show.
That's a lot of jump and jump.
Here's the thing with Serena. She's actually been dating Alex ever since she broke up with Common.
Well, and then before Common, Brett Ratner.
Right.
Oh, right.
Brett Ratner, the director, Louis' wife. So she has dated.
And here's the thing. Right. And here's the thing with Serena, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, is in tennis is a one-person sport.
True.
Right.
There's nothing you can do.
Right.
Serena is a very, very private person. I love Serena Williams. I think Serena Williams is possibly the greatest female athlete to ever grace the earth.
Exactly.
So you know Dirty's mine. There's been plenty of times I've been online looking for certain things about Serena Williams and never found them.
Okay.
With that being said.
So let's see if we can segue into a whole other
topic.
Well, no,
because I want to go back to the to the thing. John, trust me, I believe in the whole Illuminati and all of
Seriously,
that
we
stuff.
don't have to do a show.
Right, but let's get to the LeBron James thing. The reason why the people in LeBron James in Cleveland crucified James is because James said, "I'll never leave Cleveland."
You should never say that.
He left Cleveland to go. It made a big whoopty. You're not even considered one of the 4 greatest players to ever play the game. And if anybody wants to argue with me, I'll tell you the 4 greatest players, and you can't put LeBron over one of them. He made a big deal on ESPN. Won't go up to mud towns and selfies. Who gives a rat's ass that you're going to Miami? You should have stuck in Cleveland like you said you should have done and won your championships. What's he do? He goes wins 2. He comes back. Oh my God, the prodigal son returned. If I was the fans of Cleveland, I'd still be throwing rocks. I'd still be burning his jerseys because I wouldn't accept him back.
Ooh, good.
That's my opinion because the man
okay.
turned his back on my city.
All right.
As a player.
So that's Dirty's opinion. So let's see what Lynn B got to say about this because you remember I was a huge LeBron.
Absolutely.
I know, right? I was out on Facebook with the sweets and all that. But let me just say this. I love me some LeBron James, okay? I was very disappointed when he went back to Cleveland because when he left Cleveland, after what that man said, he asked, now that was a slave mentality there. Where he said he had no, I'm like, are you serious? I hate to say it, I'm telling you from personal experience, you never go back. Never really go back home.
Especially what that man says about him.
I would have never, I don't care if mama was at home, daddy, I would never go back.
Now, you want to talk about some conspiracies, why did he go back?
Why did he go back?
Right. When I heard he was going back, I said, come on now. Can you read the writing on the wall?
Exactly.
How stupid can we be?
Right.
He said he wouldn't go back. He said he wasn't going back. Then all of a sudden he got homesick after like 4 years or so.
Something like that.
No, well, actually,
wife too.
Yeah.
His wife was from there.
And then you had Dwayne them, they started acting all ignorant with him too. Okay, I think we have a caller. Just hold on for 1 second, John. Hello, caller.
Hey, my name is Vader here. How's it going?
Hey, Vader, what's up with you? I think they miss being in the studios when I'm here, okay?
I think so.
Right. What's up, Vader? What's up on your mind, Vader?
There's somebody throw it up in there.
What?
And do the suspect, and no, she don't get no accolades from it anymore.
Who are you talking about?
And with that said, good night.
Who are you talking about? Or are you talking about Serena? Okay. Okay, well, we're going to let that drop.
When LeBron went back to Cleveland, to me, it was so flaky.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the excuses why he got home. I mean, that could be true. It really doesn't matter.
Put her on a plane.
How convenient, of an excuse to go back, especially after the way they burned everything.
Oh, yeah.
Destroyed everything. I'm like, wait a minute. You got home for what? You gonna go back to that?
For being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. These guys, let me say this. I don't give a darn how much money anybody makes in this world. It seems like the more money you make, the more of a leash you have, the shorter a leash you wear.
Yo, you're absolutely true.
So, absolutely. I mean, you can say it how you want, but I'm saying money does not free people when they think it does.
Nope. Money just brings more problems.
That's all it does.
Yeah. Like Baby said.
I was just getting ready to say it. Thanks for stealing, John.
Okay, can we switch? Now, we're still talking sports, but did you guys hear that Condoleezza Rice came out and said something like yesterday about the NAACP? Anybody remember?
Oh, God, what did she
about
say?
that?
Look,
Because I think they got her on the board.
Take her very
we
seriously.
know Dirty's not a big fan
Okay, go ahead.
of that organization because sometimes they try to impede on people's rights.
Okay.
Okay? I understand why they do it. Just not really a big fan. There's a certain individual in Spokane, Washington, who kind of made a big deal out of it and kind of screwed everything up for everybody. So what did this idiot have to say? Because that I don't think she's very intelligent sometimes.
Oh, Condoleezza.
No, yeah. Yeah.
After what she did during the Iraq War, I'm not a big I'm not a fan of her.
Speaking of
she
that,
carried a lot of water.
Yes, she
for
did.
certain president
Absolutely.
Smiled her way through it. I appreciate it.
So with that being said, Lewis, what do you think about this lady that they're trying to confirm for CIA director that also was involved in the waterboarding?
She was involved in torture. She okayed it, and she's trying to not answer questions so that she can be confirmed. And she may be confirmed, you know, because obviously there's a Republican majority.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole, going back to that whole era, the whole George W. Bush era, 2001, 9/11, the wars that were made up out of thin cloth, the shifting reasons why, the oil, they'll welcome us as victors, all these different ideas of why we were supposed to go to Iraq.
Right.
When for me, it was always about Israel and what Israel needed in that region to calm things down, to get these people out of the way, to knock them off so that Israel could be safe.
Yep.
Now, that gets into a whole bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Israel will never be safe. I have nothing against Israel as a country. But if you're going to sit in the middle of a powder keg, it's going to be hard to have peace.
Exactly.
So we're going to have to work it out. But don't sit here and act like we're going to make this nirvana.
Exactly.
Okay, and somehow everything's going to be okay. Just let's get all of our enemies away from us. No, it's not going to happen that way.
Now, and Lewis, a good segue into my next question. What do you think about Trump pulling out of the Iran deal? Was that the most asinine thing we've seen?
It was one of the most asinine, but it is, along with his whole plan, take anything away that President Obama. That's all this is about. And when you start your campaign saying that this guy isn't an American, because that's what he did. He did it for me. Once he said, he pointed his finger, where's his birth certificate? Why are we wondering about this president's birth certificate? We didn't do that with the other 43.
Exactly.
What's the deal?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, we know that, but
it was because of his name.
So the name and Hawaii and you know the mixed race, they couldn't handle this mixed race because they really wanted them to be like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton.
Exactly.
Or you're really from America. Oh no, he can't really say something because it's half this, half that. Oh, we can't. So this was a way to get to him. He's not born here. He's born somewhere else. Because they couldn't get to him the classic way of getting to a black politician, a black American politician. Because they would have done Jesse. They wouldn't have to worry about Jesse's birth certificate. You wouldn't have to worry about Al Sharpton. Man, you don't have to worry about that. You can tackle him the other way. Liberal, it is, whatever. But they had to go at him that way. And that burned me, and I will never go along with anything he does because of that.
Okay. Now, let me throw this out here for you guys.
You don't want to get dirty started on this one.
Right. But, okay, so, like you said, he was the most disrespected president ever out there. President Obama was. So my question to you guys, and of course I didn't write it down, so probably just bear with me here, because I was forming it as you were talking about that. Give me a minute. Oh, crap, what was it I was going to say? Why was it that so many whites were offended by President Barack Obama? Very intelligent man. Let me finish. Very intelligent man. The Republicans always go on family values. This was a man that had a family. He never had any extramarital incidents that we heard about, took care of his daughters. Why were they so turned off and insulted with having Barack Obama as president?
I would like to go along and say, it could be politics.
Mm-hmm.
He had a different point of view than John McCain and George W. Bush. He wanted to end the Iraq War. He wanted to build a health care plan, a national health care plan that people disagreed with. But I can't. I wanted to go along the fair path. It was just politics, and they had disagreements. No, when I started seeing the Tea Party form in 2009 and 2010, and what they were talking about, and what they wanted to go back to, it became too obvious for me.
Okay.
It was the least common denominator. Let's attack him because he doesn't look like the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and people, and there was too many arguments back at that time, this is as Facebook is really starting to grow now, between 2008, 2009, 2010, and people, I think for the first few months, people sat back and just were stunned.
Yeah.
And so they didn't say much of anything. They were kind of quiet, you know, and then they saw it. And then they saw him trying to do this health plan. And then they saw the family, which how can you even complain about the children and the wife? So they have to find something to complain about Michelle Obama. Their shoulders were too wide. She had muscles and I mean, and you know, then all the depictions of monkeys and all the stuff. It was more than obvious.
Right.
So I would love to be able to say, yes, it was political. We just had disagreements. And I know there are people that do say that. I tend to try to watch those people sometimes and see what they actually say when I'm not around.
No, that's right.
Okay, because I've had people tell me that, and then I go go down the street and look over in the other social media page and see what's going on, and then I see them nod their heads and liking stuff that had a whole different point of view.
Exactly.
And it really just got back down to that base reason that we've been dealing with for 300 years.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Dirty, what do you think?
Like Trump,
okay,
Obama was against the establishment.
Sure.
If you really want to look at Obama's policies, they were borderline socialist policies.
And pretty much what George W. Bush had pretty much put into place, other than the health care.
It's funny that, you know, when you brought up the point, why didn't white people vote for Obama?
Why were they offended, actually?
They actually, and because Lewis is here. Lewis is really, as I'm listening, so I've been doing a lot of looking at things that we've been talking about, and I actually pulled up a study. So in 2004, when Obama was elected,
2008.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, 2008, 65% of all white America voted for Obama. And then in 2012, 62% voted for Obama. It wasn't that we were scared that it was a black man, and because we wanted a change. America needed a change, and what Obama did is Obama brought a change. I wasn't a fan of Obama's in his last 4 years because if you really look at it, the president has no power whatsoever.
Exactly. Right.
His first 4 years were great. He was getting things accomplished. He was getting things done. Okay? Last 8 years, you can see the writing on the wall. I've always said that we should have universal health care. Right. For every man, woman, and child. I work in the healthcare industry. I see patients every day that have Medicaid, and if you don't get their stuff to them fast enough, oh boy, they're on the phone. Why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? No. Look. You get it for free. Calm down, slow your roll, shut up. But they don't. Now, is that the angry part of America in me? An angry part of the white part of me? Yeah, it is. Because I'm paying for insurance. I don't mind people having insurance. I don't mind the less fortunate and the poor having insurance. I don't have that mother who's got no education and is a high school dropout and can't get a good job besides working at a fast food restaurant to have health government insurance. That doesn't bother me.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? So are you offended as a white man having to pay for stuff like that, as opposed to paying for all these wars that we've been paying for?
I'm offended by both of them.
Yeah.
I'm offended by both.
Right.
That's the problem. I don't think we should be in a war. I don't think we should be in any war, for the simple fact is America is not, we should not be the world police.
Right.
We have problems in America that we need to fix. We have a racial problem.
Right.
We have an economic problem. We have a family infrastructure problem.
Right. Well, do you guys think that a lot of the racial problems, and we talk about this all the time, Dirty, it's just a distraction?
Oh,
it's just
of
to
course.
keep us off balance.
Yeah.
And while we are sitting up here fighting with each other, behind the scenes, they're doing things like getting rid of the Iran deal and actually having Israel bombing Iran over in Syria.
Yeah.
We don't hear this on the news. What's going on with that?
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Jump Street, and then you, Lewis. Go ahead, Jump.
I was saying that, as you were saying that, I was saying that was my whole theory about the opposite there. They create distractions so they can enact their real plan and do what they want to do. The thing is this, you know, I'm not a fan of any president. I'm just saying. None of that. Because first of all, if you don't address the problems of all American citizens, how can you be a good president?
Exactly.
Okay? And to me, there's never been a president, white, definitely, and of any other color for that matter, that's addressed the problems and issues of all people in this country. And that's just the ugly truth of it. Okay, this is what I'm saying. When I think about Obama in particular, I know what he did for other races, but when it comes to black people, I have to scratch my head and have to do research on this. Why do I have to look up and research what he supposedly did for black people?
Yeah,
I know that he changed laws for illegal immigrants. He changed laws for homosexuals. He put a white woman on the Supreme Court. He put a Latino woman on the Supreme Court. Those are just a few of the things he did. But what I'm saying is, he enacted health care. My thing is this. With the health care thing, he gave you enough bills to have to pay that you didn't have enough bills to pay already. My thing is, I'm not mad at anybody who's glad they're getting health care. That's fine. That's wonderful.
Right.
Not to lift anybody's arms and make them have to get it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. It's not like you're not paying for enough already, So they don't care about you being healthy. What he did was he told the same lie George H.W. Bush told, read my lips, no new tax, no more tax.
Right.
Obama just took the sneaky route. He totally lied and told everybody he wasn't going to look at the taxes. So what? Guess what? I don't want to come out and be the liar that I am. So now I got to sneak and find a way to do it. Oh, I'll make everybody get health care.
Okay.
It was the guy that was with him, a white guy, I forgot his name. He said he was joking about it at first, and then he said, I'll make everybody get health care. He said, that's what I'll do. That's how I'll do it. And that's what he did. So, whether that's true or not, I can believe it may be. But I'm saying it's all a bunch of, I don't even call it politics. I call it politics. That's all it is.
Politics,
That's all
okay.
it is. Politics. And my thing is, like an illustrious member of the black community once told somebody, the definition of a politician is that of a paid liar. Okay?
Well,
that's all they are. And we act like we don't know this already. These people get up in front of us every 4 years, tell the same bunch of lies that they tell every 4 years, and we act like we just say hard and we don't know this stuff.
See, I think when they start into the politics, they have the good intentions at heart.
They have the best interest. And what somebody does is they pull them to the side and say, hey, you know what? You're never going to make any money.
Right, and there you go. There you go. And, yep, and there you go. And that's the problem is when our society was set up, okay? And it's funny because I just watched another America Inside Out that was about slavery.
Okay.
Okay? In the Constitution, in the American Constitution, it clearly states that black people are not human beings.
That's right. We're property.
They are property.
Right.
And so that is basically what started the Civil War, because the northern people started seeing it going, wait a second.
Right.
And I'll say it because I see it all the time. We're like, okay, they're something, but they're not quite as good as us, the gods of the world. Yeah.
But Billy, why do you think the police can murder us?
Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah.
Was that one through that Cape Kirk where they
Yeah.
were talking about they're killing them and getting, because they know they can get 6 weeks off,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to kill them around Christmas vacation so they get that extra
Jump
time
Street.
off with pay.
You've never heard me say that it is all right for a white officer to kill a black person.
No, I didn't say you said that. I said why.
It's not.
This is what I'm saying. You just made a statement and said that black people were prophets. It says in the Bible.
We're not
Yep.
doing it. Right.
And the thing is, what I'm saying is, I'm agreeing with that, but that's true because I said my question is, wouldn't it make a lot of sense? Because the police can murder us, get away with it, nothing be done about it. They get bonuses, they get paid time off, they get vacation, they get rewarded for killing us, in other words. So the thing is, but wait a minute, if we're citizens of the country, then why isn't it murder as it relates to us, as opposed to when it happens to somebody else?
It should be.
You know what I mean?
It should be.
And the thing about the Black Lives Matter, Black lives do matter to me and Linda and people like and Mr. Kincaid and stuff. and a lot of other people, but it really doesn't matter to society as a whole, because why is it that you have to put out a sign and promote it? I don't see any signs that say that white lives matter.
Because it's, okay.
Because white lives really do matter. They don't have to promote
it. Okay, so here's how I'm going to put it. It is murder.
This is why we do this.
It is murder. And I've said it. The very first show that me and Linda did, I said it when Michael Brown laid in the middle of the street right out here in Ferguson, USA. One of the reasons why this station was started was shot and murdered. Now, do I think the kid did not deserve to die? Did not at all. What he did not deserve also is to lay in the middle of the street like an animal. He didn't. Because you know what was coming out on that street? It was called red stuff. It was called blood, just like it was for me. Do I think Darren Wilson should have been indicted? Do I think Darren Wilson should have been judged above his peers in a court of law? Yes, I do. I think any police shooting should be brought to a grand jury and it should be judged among their peers. Do I think it was right that Fox News, anytime you turned it on and they did it, and the grand jury and all that, and all they kept saying was the black juror, the black juror. Why does it have to be a black juror? Why isn't it just a juror? Because you wanted to single that out.
That's a distraction.
You're right, it is a distraction.
If they start holding them accountable and start convicting these people like they
But we're not, and here's the reason why. And I said it last week, Jump Street. Here's the reason why. Because as white American media sees it, our job as the white American media, and is fair? No, it's not fair. It's to keep the population separate. If it keeps it separate and it doesn't bring us together to where we can stand as one and rise against the establishment, nothing will ever change. That's one of the reasons why me and Linda kind of started this show, was to start that change. Now, I've talked about it. Do I think last week we talked about slavery. Will white people ever apologize for slavery? No, because they don't think it was wrong. Right. Was it wrong? You're damn right it was wrong. But we're not going to apologize for it. The majority of the establishment will not, because they felt they did nothing wrong. And as we've gotten older, we see they've done it wrong. But will they? No, they won't.
Well, just like
and that's the sad thing about society.
And that's sort of what Jim is saying. According to the Constitution, we were not viewed as people. We were viewed as property.
Right.
So that's why they did not feel any contempt about slavery being wrong.
Right.
There are times when you can actually go back and see black and white pictures of people hanging slaves, and they're having a picnic.
No, yeah, it's ridiculous. It was disgusting.
Let me just add a little bit to that, to overlay just what they were talking about.
Okay.
This is something that I believe for the last probably 10 years when I really started looking it up.
Okay.
Probably about 2014, 2012, 2014, I was looking things up, and there's 500,000 uniformed or FBI agent people who carry guns, okay, in the country. So let's just use that as a nice round number, 500,000. I personally believe in the 1% rule. Okay, so let's take that 500,000. That comes down to 5,000. Separate that into, or divide that into the 50 states, 100. I honestly believe that in every state in this union, there's 100 police officers or people who carry guns with a badge who have either affiliation or members of separatist organizations.
I agree.
Now we can start with the KKK and just move on down. Militias, some of them even have doggone tattoos on their arms to show it to you. But I think that is a big part that we don't want to talk about. And then you have a union overlay that will protect any officer, no matter who they are.
Right.
They're not going to touch them. And I mean, that police union chief will stand up and say, I don't care what happened. He didn't do anything wrong. He was in fear of his life. We've heard the song and dance all along.
Yeah.
But if we don't deal with that first thing, that these officers are coming in with separatist views that they have from childhood or young adulthood, that they're coming in, and then if they were in the military, so they learn how to use guns, how they want to be a police officer, now they want to do what they believe.
Exactly.
It's not like the departments don't already know that.
Exactly.
This is not by mistake. This is by design.
Right. Well, also remember in 2006, you can actually Google this. There was somebody at the Justice Department actually put out a warning to all the states and said, look, we have been told that most of the people that are KKKs, white nationalists, they're now going to try to get into the police force.
Oh, that was Janet Napolitano, who
Yeah.
was Obama's first Department of Homeland Security. She used to be governor of Arizona, so I
Right.
kind of knew this because I was out that way.
Okay.
And she put out that warning. Oh, did Fox News get that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, how dare you say this
Wait,
about
Fox
oh,
News? Fox
oh,
News.
how dare you say these
Did
things?
you say fake news?
Did
And-
Fox
and-
News did something?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
So
God!
How
no.
dare you point the finger at law enforcement?
Exactly.
How dare you point the finger
Right.
at law enforcement? And look who's pointing the finger at law enforcement now.
Come on now.
Okay.
Are we
Look who's
seeing
pointing
a
the finger
shift
now.
here?
So now it's okay to point the finger at law enforcement.
Right.
My ox is being gored. I'm about to get home.
Exactly.
But then, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good question. Now, let me bring on that point up. Look at how Trump has made us look at our Justice Department, our police departments. And let's be real. The FBI, we've had some issues with the FBI's as African Americans. COINTELPRO, if you're familiar with that, you know what I'm saying, and the Justice Department. So I believe that the good Lord upstairs is using Trump to actually throw away all of these
Whoa.
strongholds and all of these
Whoa.
myths that we grew up with, just to kind of just show what's
I
really
hope
going
not.
on.
You got a fever?
I hope not.
I
You
learned
got
that
a
I got a
fever?
fever.
I don't know if I want to go
I got it.
there.
Oh, wow. Now that look, I've heard some conspiracies.
Woo, was that a good one?
I mean, Lewis,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, Lewis.
Trump can be used to open our eyes because he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
absolutely. Right.
But he's
Yeah.
pointing the finger. He's trying to save his own hide.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
like it. Yeah, but
I'm not going to give him a credit for opening our eyes
Yeah.
to the fact that he's a criminal. He's a drifter, number one.
well, we
His
knew that
family is
before
a
he got
drifter.
in there. We
He's
knew
a
that
con
before he
man.
got in there. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
See now, and here's the thing: if we knew it, everybody that voted for him knew that too.
Sure.
Am I right?
Their whole thing was, well, but he's not guilty. He's not
Well,
guilty.
and do you
So
also-
therefore, we
Hold on,
voted
right.
for the better
You don't
person because
remember?
at least he's not guilty.
Right.
Henry killed all those people in
Big Gazi.
I
Oh,
know.
my
Isn't that the
God.
craziest thing?
Here's the thing. It's funny that you say that about Trump. I
Uh-huh.
actually like the way you said that.
You like
though.
that? I told you.
I mean, and if you really sit
Came
back,
out of being a boss.
if you really sit back and think about it, she's right though. If you really sit
Yeah.
back and you think about it, look what he is doing to our justice system.
Right.
I mean, we don't have to like him. The man's an idiot.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you want, we can get him to call in right now.
Oh my goodness.
You
All
want
we
to
gotta
get-
Just put something on Twitter.
I'm
You
trying-
want
that's all we gotta do.
You want me to get you to call in?
I bet you
I
would.
got his phone number.
Do you
right off the
really?
bat. Yeah.
But can I
We'll
tell
go
you
to voicemail.
something? I would talk
We'll
to
go to
him.
voicemail.
Okay. I would talk to him.
You would?
Absolutely, I
Okay.
would.
President Trump says he loves you, Linda. What questions do you have for President
All
Trump?
right, President Trump, I love your new show, The Cartoon President. Thank you so much for entertaining me. Have you guys seen that? It's on Showtime.
City, and I'm very proud of it.
He's made a lot of money.
Yeah,
All right. Ask him
very
something
proud of
else.
that. Okay. So, President Trump, do you think that what we're seeing with the Black Lives Matter movement is just the same thing that you're doing with the whole Obama thing, just trying to get rid of that legacy?
No,
Well, what is it that you're doing?
it's going to be only America first.
All right, not America second,
No.
America first, huh?
Dang it, I can't find the yes.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Yes.
All right, and that was our president, Donald Trump, the
I'm
cartoon
shocked. I
president,
can't
right?
believe he called
On
in.
Ferguson, USA. Joe, can you believe that? President Trump called in.
But how much do you think, guys, that we're seeing with the whole the tax of the blacks with the police? A lot of that. How much do you think of that is what we call the Obama effect? Just they were so offended to have a black president that now it's like, okay, you know what? We can't kill him, but we can kill them. Does that make sense?
I can see it because it certainly felt like there was a spate of them. It just all of a sudden just
Mhm.
boom.
Yeah.
I mean, Trayvon Martin and
Well,
just
Caleb wasn't killed by a cop.
it's a wannabe.
Well,
Well,
wannabe,
wannabe.
yeah.
Piece of trash.
Probably wasn't that happy about President Obama either. There seemed to be a spate of them. There may have been some anger. I mean, I remember seeing the young. Someone
Where's that coming from?
From John.
Oh, jump.
No, it's coming from you on your phone.
Is it?
Yeah, you got a video open.
Do I?
There you go. It's coming.
Okay. Sorry about that.
But there was just a lot of not only murder but just physicality. I remember
Yes.
this girl in Dallas was at a pool party
Oh,
and
yeah.
they tackled her on the grass and was just beating her up, and kids in school and slamming them against the tables.
No,
and
Here's the thing. I
just
think
a lot of
it.
stuff.
And if we really look at it, when did cell phones came out 07, right?
Okay.
iPhone.
iPhone
Right.
started coming out in 07.
Okay.
Technology wasn't that good with an iPhone, smartphones, right?
Mhm.
Wasn't really about until 2014 when they started really getting good.
Mm-hmm.
When we
When they started taking pictures.
Yeah.
right,
video.
Video.
when it gets to be really good, and that's when you started noticing. It was in 2014, if you really think about it.
So they
Okay.
could have always been there.
It's
We
always,
just
yes.
didn't see it.
I think it's always. I mean, think about it. 1992. What did we
Right.
see? We saw a grown man get the hell kicked out of him by 6 pieces of trash.
Right.
Then they go to court and they're like, oh, listen
You
here.
know what?
Hold on, John.
Hold on, John.
Listen here, guys. We just beat the hell out of this guy. We can't do this downtown. We got to take this up north. So these guys don't go to jail. So what they do? They took him up north. They got him off.
Yeah.
Some bitches should have been guilty.
Yeah.
They should have all been hung. They should have all been stuck in a jail cell and rotten.
The last
That's
3 or
what
4
they
years
should've
I
did.
lived in Los Angeles, I've always ran into George Holiday. That's
Did
the
you
guy
really?
who took the picture. Yeah.
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 Wow.
What were you gonna say, John?
Interesting stories. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
When the Rodney King thing happened with the video, okay, that was the first time that to my knowledge in recent history that the beatings of the police were recorded. Okay?
Correct.
Mhm.
I told my mom, I told some, everybody was on the Rodney King case. And I said, you know what, that's really going to do any good. I said, because they're going to find a way to discredit the video.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing with the police body cams and the dash cams and the cell phone video. I mean, they discredit all of that stuff. In other words, the only time you see what you see is when it's in their favor. But when it's against them, we got to investigate. The video was grainy. Wait a minute, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. They discredit everything.
And-
They discredit everything when it's not in their favor.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I knew when it came out with the body cam, I said, well, that's not going to do any good.
Oh,
They're not going to have it on. Or they're going to say they didn't get one or whatever.
Always seem to have it turned on.
Oh, it actually did. Oh, wait, the
Exactly.
battery actually died.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I forgot to charge it before I started.
The reason why I think that the cop killing Terry Priest is because they got angry because they got uncovered. The Mike Brown case is very interesting because, to my knowledge, that's when it seemed like the stuff really hit the fan and they really got uncovered. And they really got angry about it because, in other words, we've been uncovered, yeah, but guess what? We're not slowing down. We're going to speed it up. And that's
Right,
what
yeah.
people have.
Well, who was the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy that was before? He was before Tavon that was murdered by the cop. But didn't really get off. That's what started the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Before Trey,
Because Tavon was 2013.
Right.
So.
And there was the one in
You're
2012.
talking about the little Tamara Rice?
Yes.
The little 12-year-old.
That was right around Thanksgiving.
Was that before?
13? I think that was
Before Michael?
Who was?
Oh, it was before Michael.
Was before
Yeah, it was
Michael?
before Michael.
2012 was Trayvon Martin.
Okay.
And Jordan Davis.
Jordan
right.
Davis.
Jordan
was
Davis,
around
the
the
little
guy.
guy that was
We
with
were
the
sitting in the
radio.
car,
Yes.
playing music,
Yeah. So
stuff.
if you really think about it, right, that's when the Black Lives Matter movement started. Okay, was then. It really didn't start ramping up until 2014 when Michael Brown was sentenced and murdered.
Mike Brown's case really, it spearheaded a lot of stuff that's going on.
Oh, you're absolutely
Absolutely.
correct. And then the old boy in New York that literally got choked
Eric
to death.
Garner.
Now that man wasn't doing nothing. You could see that man was physically
Selling
trying.
singles.
He was physically
Exactly.
trying to give himself up.
Exactly.
And what did they do? They choked him to death.
I was pulling up. We had another incident. Did you guys hear about the incident with the woman that was on an American airline flight? And they were in coach, and the seats are super small, and she was a heavy-set woman.
We'll get 2 seats.
Well, the white lady that she was sitting next to, complained because the black lady's arm was touching hers.
You know what I'd have done?
So she called the flight attendant, and they called the police on this woman.
Come on.
Honest to goodness.
You know what I'd have done?
This, okay, because I was actually reading about Bob Marley's granddaughter that got stopped at the Airbnb.
Yeah,
Right. And then as I'm reading this, the lady says, "Don't forget this just happened to Amber so and so." So I hit her Twitter, and I'm like, "Oh my
You know
God!"
what I'd have done?
Let me read this to you. It's
I'd have got
crazy.
farted in her face.
You can get away with that. We would die for
No,
that.
my
Dirty.
goodness.
See, I mean, I know that sounds
I
funny,
know it does,
but we would die for that.
And see,
Right.
You know, I wouldn't be a very good black person because I'd already be dead.
Yeah, you probably would.
I really would. I really would.
If you look at it, black people, not just black people, but black people primarily, but people of color in general, are under attack everywhere. If you're on
Right.
YouTube, there's story after story. That's not making the mainstream.
Well, no,
And
you're right. It won't.
I mean, certain cases are covered, but they're suppressing the majority of incidents that are happening in this country since Trump has been in the White House.
Well, of course.
You know, so it's like it's case after case. Well, let me give you another one.
Okay.
There was an African woman who was in a restaurant with her family speaking in an African dialect. There was a white woman that was nearby who got angry because she was speaking in a language that she couldn't understand.
Exactly.
Wait, but
I remember
I
that.
remember
But wait a second.
Hold on, let her finish. Go ahead, Jeff.
She hit the black woman in the face with a beer mug and cut her
Sure
face
did.
up.
But wait a second, Jump. This is America. If you come to America, you need to speak American.
Well, let me say this. When America goes to other people's
Right.
countries, they don't speak the language.
Thank you.
Because we're America.
Okay.
And they're supposed to do what we say, damn it.
Well, we're Africa, so it's not our language. So I'm saying this, whatever the language was, she was mad because she felt like they may have been scheming or planning something that she didn't know what they were talking about. The thing is this, when you're in control, others do what you want them to do. You don't do what they want you to do.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely, they don't care what you do, but when you feel like you're the boss, and let's be honest, white in America is not a color, black is not a color. These are status symbols.
You're absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Right.
Absolutely.
She got angry because, hey, I'm white. I deserve to know what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay? This is what I want to know. Speak English. What about the white guy that was playing, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. A black baby was crying. He jumps up.
Slapped the baby. Sure did.
What the
Slapped
hell?
the freaking baby. He sure did. Sure did.
Whoa, Jump, hold
telling
on. Don't use that word. Don't use that word.
Can I be real honest with you? If you're African, sure did. I remember reading that with my mouth hanging open, going, or if you are,
These people are emboldened because they know they
Yeah.
can make these acts and get away with it. At least they feel it, but no, they feel it because they know they can.
that exactly there can, right?
They know they're going to be backed up by the president, the police force, everything is in their favor. So
I know his blood pressure sky high.
Jump. Jump, you know I was giving you shit when I was saying that this is America, right? Okay, good.
Okay, so
You
listen,
just
guys.
really got fired up. I don't want you to have a heart
We
attack.
want you
man.
to go get a drink, go take a sip, and come on back. Now, there's a guy that I'm Twitter friends with. His name is T. Greg Dossett. This is what he tweeted out the other day. He said, this is a white guy. So he said, so in just the past couple of weeks, we've had white folk summon police on black folk for no discernible reason at Starbucks waiting, a golf club golfing too slow, an Airbnb checking out. Now at the Airbnb where Bob Marley's granddaughter
Right.
was one of the ones checking out, the lady called the police because they did not wave to her when she waved to them when they
Come
were leaving.
on.
That's it.
Right.
Get over yourself in
Right.
5
And
minutes.
you know, we just had one at Nordstrom Rack here in Brentwood where we grew up. Okay?
The college students don't sleep in the
And the college.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that
Yeah, we
one.
talked about that one. So my question, and we've had this on the show before, Louis, so we're going to ask you, do you think that this is now a sport for whites to call the police on black Americans just to see what kind of reaction they get?
I think they're feeling similarly to how they felt in the 80s with Reagan.
Yeah.
They feel empowered.
Yeah,
They
big
feel
time.
like, and what was the thing that Bush said after 2001? If you see something, say something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we've turned away the terrorism, and now we just really start talking about terrorism. But
Exactly.
Okay.
it's not overseas anymore.
Okay.
Terrorism.
It's here in
Terrorism
America.
right here
Right.
in America.
Yeah, exactly.
But these people are feeling empowered. If they see something, say something. We know what scares
I'm
them
always very
when they
right.
see something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm gonna
scary
do?
now? But you know, it's like, come on now, let's use some common sense, okay? Why, if you see somebody at a library,
Yeah.
at a college, asleep, why would you not assume that she's not a student there?
Because you don't live around them and you don't know
Look.
them. So they don't look like anybody that you're supposed to be around.
Right. You can't have people just sleeping.
It's not, common sense has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that they know that they have privilege that you don't have.
Right.
And they know that when they come, the police, they said the police was dispatched within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the thing is this.
And then when the police were dispatched, did they describe the people?
Oh, I'm sure they. Yeah.
Of course, no, that's why they got their 5 minutes.
Thank you.
The thing is this. The thing is this. See, this is hey, taking out real. This is why I say that all white people are racist. Now, whether you agree or disagree, this is my reasoning behind it. And it doesn't mean, even though you may be racist, that you're necessarily a bad person. But let me try to explain. Being born into racism is like being born off into the royal family. You have no control over it. It's a system that was devised and developed hundreds of years ago by your forefathers, okay? And just like the royal family, okay? But you might be a decent-hearted person. You may love everybody. You may want to be friends with everybody, but you're still a member of that race and that class. So therefore, you're one whether you know it or not. Because you have the power to pick up a phone and get people in trouble just by your mere words,
Yeah.
because of who you are and
Yeah.
who you describe, that means you have privilege that I don't have.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's right.
That Lynn doesn't have. Mr. Kincaid doesn't have it. So Atlanta doesn't have it. So therefore, you have an ability to do something to me that we don't have the ability to do to you.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Because we know that if we call the cops on a situation, let's be real, they're still going to come to us.
Right.
Just like this young lady, Bob Morley's granddaughter said. She said we've tried to keep it light because we understand that we're in pretty much a white neighborhood, and we're just trying to keep everything on. She said the sergeant came off, and the sergeant was just like, "No, you guys are stealing. You're gonna have to prove that this," and he just went ham on them. It's like, what?
Well, and you know what? We're just one of the quick
Okay,
thing
hold
that
on,
we
Jeff.
were talking about earlier. When did they turn on President Obama? I'm just now remembering something.
Okay.
Beergate.
Yep.
Remember
Right.
Skip Gates?
Yeah.
Skip
Exactly.
Gates was
That's right.
coming back
Yeah,
home from
Professor
China,
Henry Gates.
trying to get into his house,
Yeah.
couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Neighbors called and said somebody's breaking in.
And
See,
you
that's
know,
what I'm
and
saying.
you know that they do this man.
Right.
They
Come
seen
on
him
now.
before,
And, you know,
professor at Harvard.
Exactly. Right.
That's when it turned.
Hold
That's
on.
when it turned.
Right.
That was within the first 6 months of the administration.
Right.
Right.
And hold on, Chuck. I want to elaborate on that. That's what I'm saying. It's never left.
Right.
Mhm.
It's never. It's never. Hold on, Chuck. It's never left. It's just right. Here's what I'm saying.
It's just
though.
more bold.
But
in
you
your
guys,
face.
but again, we're talking about how when people started noticing it, right? He just said, "Hey, wait! I just dawned on me. I started noticing it with the Obama administration 6 months after he got into office. It's always been there.
Mhm.
And here's the thing. And again, I'm gonna go right back to it. It's white American media that has kept its thumb on everyone to keep them separate. It's always been there.
Right.
It's just when will people wake up to start seeing the truth? And it's not until something happens to you as a person is when you wake up and see the
And
truth.
all the President Obama had to do was slightly criticize
I
that
mean,
officer.
slightly
That's it.
Police
criticize.
officer,
They
mind you.
went
And all of a
crazy.
sudden, his honeymoon was done.
Right. All right, Chuck. Know what you're gonna say.
You so right, though.
You call them idiots or something, but you know what? I've never seen a president apologize as much for Barack Obama did. I never have. But I'll say this too, but I'm not surprised.
Exactly.
The thing is, he was trying to appease as well.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I hate to say it, this kind of goes to what I was saying about dating white white collar black men? No,
Mm-hmm.
because they're always trying to get along, go along and get along.
Well, that's funny.
I'm just too radical for that. I've been radical my whole life, haven't I?
We've had that conversation
Exactly.
one night,
Right.
and we talked about it.
Right.
You say, well, who's actually more racist? Are we more racist towards black men, or are we more racist towards black women?
Right.
In the workforce.
Hold
Hold on, Joe.
I think
You didn't hear me. In the workforce.
In the workforce. So what do you think? Who do you think we're more racist in the workforce against?
I'll even do it this way.
Yeah.
I would have to say black men, and I'll give you one.
Okay, go ahead.
Black, okay.
We got 10 minutes.
Okay, someone taught me this.
Louis, you're more than welcome to come back
Every
next week.
conversation between two men, whether black man or white man, is valid will. Every conversation between two men, black or white, is valid will. Somebody's got to be dominant, somebody's got to be subordinate. Now, what's going to happen if you get two dominant people there? Okay? Somebody's got to give in to somebody. Okay? The thing about it is this. Two people that don't have a problem on opposite sides, white men and black women don't have a problem. White women and black men don't have a problem. You know why? Because of the sexual factor. Okay? The thing is this. Look at how corporate America destroys the black family. I go out for a job. Let's say Lynn and I are married. I go out for a job. Oh, baby, you ready for the job? My credentials are impeccable. Right. Go out. So I'm dirty energy on me. And, my credentials are better than his. But the thing is, what does he use against me? Oh, you're overqualified.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't get the job. I come home to Linda. Did you get the job, baby? No, baby. They said I was overqualified. Just so happens the following month she has an interview at the same company. So what happens? She goes. She gets the job. She comes home. Hey, that's great. Okay. Here's the old Jedi mind trick thing going on. We get into an argument, a heated argument. Well, get your butt out. I don't need to know where you're not paying anything, you're not doing anything. Okay, so now we break up. She's taking care of the kids or whatever by herself, but here goes the catch. Now she's on her job 6 months or whatever. Boss comes around. Hey, Linda, how do you like your job? Oh, it's good. I like my coworkers and so forth. But now, of course, he's going to try to manipulate her because he wants to see how far he can go with it. He's going to try to manipulate her and go into bed because he wants to see how much she really likes the job, right? So if you don't
hell no. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta perform.
No, John.
That's a TV. That's a TV.
Okay. Let me keep it real with you. And now, if that's something that these young girls, hold on. Now, if this is something these young girls are doing, now I know most of the women my age and even maybe in the 40s, a little younger, we've never slept around to have a job. Never had to. Now, as a matter of fact, when that whole Me Too issue came out, I put it on Facebook. I was married at the time. And I had a guy that worked at this clinic with me. He was my boss. And he tried to hit on me. I went right home and told my husband. My husband took it. As soon as he got off with General Motors, went right up to my job, nodded at me. I told him where my boy was, went upstairs, and told him in no uncertain terms, you say anything out of place to my wife again, I'm going to come up here and walk the dog.
Yeah.
And you guys would know what that is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've never had a problem. Let me be real honest with you, Joe. And I've worked corporate America all my life, okay? And I've always been a cute little thing. So I've had black and white men holler at me, okay? I'm just keeping it real. Now, like I said, I've had that black man try to hit on me. I've never had another black man try to hit on me. And the only ones white that I would deal with were people that I was cool with. Mm-hmm. They knew that just the way that I carried myself, the way that I handled myself in conversations, what Linda Brown was going to put up, what Linda White at the time was going to put up with and what she wasn't going to put up. Now, what we see as a black American, a black woman working in corporate America, or we see the white ones, the black males that are white working in corporate America, going along to getting along, and then they start dating the white girls because that's more acceptable than dating the black girls. I'm just keeping it real with you.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
And this is the conversation
but I'm going to tell you something. And if they do decide, because you're right, they're not going to put too many blacks, male or female, in one company, in one area. But what they will do, now, if they do decide that they don't want a black man, it's probably because of something in your demeanor that's making them uncomfortable. Yep. with most black women, and I'm telling you this from example and from personal experience, I can get in the door with my, oh yeah, I'm real nice and all that. But then as soon as I get there and get comfortable and the real Linda comes out, they're like, this bitch gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not going to sit up here and just get along to go along.
And
I've never been like that.
Right.
I'm gonna always question you.
Right. And I thought, I actually thought you were going to say that the husband didn't get the job. He came home and didn't get the job. The wife went in, got the job, is not getting paid as much.
Now,
I thought that's where you were going to go. And now that does happen.
Ms. Brown, and also I was going to say, Ms. Brown's situation is the exception, not the rule. Though.
I beg to differ.
No, Joe, because my wife's been in there.
I beg to differ.
The reason I say that is
Okay.
because black men with credentials mean nothing. They did a study, a comparison of Nightline back in, I think, like 90 or 91. Black man made $1 million on a yellow job he had, white man made $1 million. They compared these guys' lifestyles down to the T. Let me ask you something. Who do you think money, they make the same salary, $1 million a year. Whose money do you think went the furthest?
Whose money went first?
Furthest.
Oh, the furthest?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, theirs went furthest. Right.
Well, of course the white guys did because he had to pay less money for the same goods and services, but the black guys pay twice, 2 or 3 times for it.
Exactly.
If a black guy wants a nice house, he's got to pay double or triple what the white guy's going to pay for it. If he wants a nice car, same thing.
Yeah.
Black women pay more for cars in America than any other.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Mortgages too.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, hold on.
All right, guys, we got 3 minutes.
Oh, God, that's interesting that you said that, okay? So I'm trying to figure this out. So as you guys are saying, because you guys made me do a lot of thinking, so that's why I've been kind of quiet tonight. Okay. And spouting out what I do.
But we love to hear your point of view too, because we need to know your point of view to see how they're thinking. Am I right, Louis?
So
Right.
okay, so here's what I'm gonna say, okay? So Joe, I think don't take it the wrong way, but I think you're completely wrong about the whole women thing in the workplace.
Right.
The black men will advance further in corporate America than any woman, white or black.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because they just will, and Linda will vouch for it. Because in corporate America, women are looked down upon. They're not looked as an equal, no matter what.
Especially
and then
black women.
Especially, black women. White women are not looked as equals compared to black men and white men in corporate America.
Right.
I disagree with you because a black woman is less of a threat than a black woman.
That is okay. Let me tell you.
That's not how corporate America sees it.
Let me tell you from example, John. Okay, this is personal experience, and those of you that are on my Facebook page, some of you work with me at the St. Louis Public Library, and I'm going to tell you what happened there, just to show you exactly what I'm talking about now. The person over our HR was actually a black man. Okay, but when they saw me as just a regular person just coming in doing a job, I was cool. Me and my supervisor got along without a problem. She was an older white woman. She told her manager when she went on vacation, hey, if anything comes up, call Linda, use her. She's always reliable. Book one of my first books, Invisible Enemies, hits Amazon's bestsellers list. She comes into the branch that day that it hits, and I'm like, come here, let me show you. And I'm showing her, and she's like, oh my God, are you making money from that? Yes, I'm on the bestsellers list. After that, she tried her best to fire me. Because she was offended because I did something that she felt that I shouldn't have been able to do. And then she felt threatened because then it's like, what kind of knowledge does this woman have? I've dealt with that most of my adult life. That's why I've always had my own businesses.
Right.
So I'm going to be honest with you, Jump Street. I know where you work, so I'm not going to mention that. But and I'm familiar with that atmosphere because unfortunately I've had to deal with them. But I would say that if I've worked at Fortune 500 companies in the St. Louis area, and no, black women are still getting the raw end of the deal, always have, low pay, last one hired, first one fired. It's nothing different. And the only reason why they would actually select a black woman over a black man is because, like I said, there's something probably in that black man's demeanor that they don't feel comfortable that they can control. Because when you get finished with it, it's all about control.
Now, let me.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I was gonna say that's a white woman. A white man would have hollered you dick quicker than he would have hollered me or Mr. Kincaid or any other.
No.
That's not. I have not seen that to be the point. I have not seen that to be the case.
Not in
at all.
corporate America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's not in corporate. It's not. And,
right.
I mean, I'm in corporate America now, and I see it all day long. And in the company that I work for in my area, we have four African American men that are in very high positions at my company.
And how many African American women in high positions?
One.
Exactly.
Okay.
One.
That's your company.
Okay, okay, now that's what that's always been my experience too.
Yeah,
somewhat of mine.
I was getting ready to ask you. Now listen, hold on, John. Now, Lewis, you came from, like you said, 25 years in California. Did you see the
Right.
same
So
thing
the
too?
two industries that I worked in there were the grocery store industry,
Okay.
okay, and also Hollywood.
Mhm.
I did some acting, especially late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Now Hollywood, you can figure out just where that goes. The pretty faces tend to win out. But that's a whole nother dynamic.
Right.
Hollywood you kind of put to the side. In the grocery store business, it's predominantly white, and in Southern California, Hispanic.
Hispanic, yeah.
Because they are deemed hard workers
Yeah.
for less money.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
they have less issues. When you try to divide it down between black men and black women, black men are a little bit more hired than the women, but that could be just that particular industry. But out there, it's the Hispanic can get in a job quicker than just about anybody.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he says that because I remember when I applied at GM when I was in the union.
Right.
They looked at me and said, "You passed all of our tests, but we can't hire you." I go, "Okay, why?" They go, "Because you're not a minority."
Isn't that crazy?
I go,
Now, see, first of all,
"Okay."
They should have been fired for even telling you that.
Exactly.
So that's just like saying I can't hire you.
I was like,
age discrimination? Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I just sat there and said, "Okay." I was like, "Okay."
Can you
sure."
remember what year that was?
Oh my God, what is this? This is 18,
Right.
2015.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I asked that.
It was when they started the Winston third shift.
Okay.
Out in Winston.
Okay, because my husband worked out there. The reason why I asked that is because at that point we noticed
We were in
around.
overtime here on One Groove Under a Nation.
I know, right?
USA
Yeah, we're gonna hurry up and
Radio.
wrap this up. But one thing that we noticed at that point, around 2013, 14, was that they were beginning to hire more Hispanics as opposed to African Americans because they would work for less money and work harder, according to them. Then, for some reason, and I believe that once Obama got in there, 2008, and then they started being concerned because they realized that most Hispanics were actually voting Democrat as opposed to Republican. Then all of a sudden you just saw this big, okay, we got to get rid of them. They've got to go. And it's like, remember when Bill Clinton was president, there were people that lost their jobs because they had illegal immigrants working as their nannies and stuff. So it's like, okay, so it's all about power.
Did you like how I brought that
It's all about
to
money.
white anxiety, the very first
White
episode?
the very first
Because
episode.
that was what they were talking about.
Absolutely. You guys have got to
It's
see
almost
this.
like they were feeding you that line to kind of get you.
No, it's amazing. You notice how everything, see, like I play off for her. She's got things she wants to talk about.
Yeah, great.
And then I know the things that we want to talk about, so then I just somehow bring them back. But I do got one question,
Okay,
and
go
then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Jump, you said something, and all three of you agreed with this, and please explain to me because I find it ridiculous. Okay, my neighbor with my ex-wife was a black family.
Okay.
Okay, we were actually I've known this dude for a long time. We both bought our houses at the same time. We both paid the exact same amount of money for our houses.
Okay.
How do you say that you guys pay 3 times in services and goods and all of that compared to white people? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
The story on Nightline, like it happened like 90 or 91. And they they showed that these guys, although they make the same amount of money per year, but the black guy had to pay more for everything.
Right.
Now, look, I'll say this. All your experiences seem to be isolated incidents. I don't know. I mean, hey, maybe things have changed. They haven't changed. I know they haven't, but I'm saying you're having isolated incidents. If you look at the historical records, it will show what I'm talking about.
All right, Jump. So here's what we'll do. We'll go to a car lot, right? And I'll film this. We'll do this as an experiment, right? We'll look at the exact same car. And let's see what price they tell you and a price they tell me.
Well, can I tell you guys something? I'm going to share something with you right now, and we're going to close this down.
Because
Check this out. My niece is, because I told you my family is all integrated.
Mhm.
My niece is married to a white guy. He just got promoted. He just moved out to Florida. Credit is kind of dicey.
Oh, mine's terrible.
Bumps and bruises. Has a house, the house she's in. Then they have another house in Belgrave Acres, and then they just bought one in Florida. And the first mortgage company was like, oh, no, we can't do anything. The second company was like, oh, we can work with that. And right now, they just got a conditional approval. But you know what I told her? Don't put your name anywhere on it. Don't let them know you even exist.
Right.
Let him do everything. And boom, it went through.
Right. So I'm going to
That's what we're talking
You said
about.
what year you said that study was? Jump.
Yeah.
What year did you say that study was?
That was either 90 or 91.
Okay.
The episode was on Nightline.
Okay. Because I mean, and here's what I'm saying. I mean, you say that I have all these isolated incidents, and I know they seem like it, but to be honest, they're really not. Because literally, my perspective on the world is a lot of people think I'm racist because they say I stereotype people into it.
But
Sure.
they think he's racist against white people.
I can see I can see how you can say that, but I speak out the truth. I'm gonna say what people don't want, what the white race really doesn't want people to say, what they don't want to be heard. You know, and I will speak out against white American media like I always have. And I mean, if you don't believe me, you can.
I know you don't have too many white friends.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I do, and I tell them all. I mean, my best friend's a very staunch Donald Trump supporter.
Right.
Very. He thinks Donald Trump is the greatest thing. I don't judge him for it. I tell him he's an idiot every single day, that he's a moron because he voted for Donald Trump, but he's still my best friend. I'm not going, and that's the problem. Is what we have done as a society.
Right.
Is when this Donald Trump thing happened. Look at what happened. We were slowly closing the gap, and when Donald Trump got elected, what happened? We left the table, and we ran.
Why do you think they put him in there? They noticed that the gap was being closed to some degree, and they said, we can't let this happen. There will be, there's one message in America that is distorted. There will not be any equality.
Oh, I 100% agree with you, John.
Well, the argument that we were not coming together during the Obama era was just a ploy, a ruse to get people all stirred up. Because I think that there were efforts, and it could be efforts that are one step forward, two steps back, two steps forward, one step sideways, but there were efforts. And then we were trying to get to a point. People that try to tell me, we got even farther apart during that era, they are the ones who wanted it to be that way. Trump has now brought a different vision in, and we're going to have to combat that. And maybe through this show, we'll be able to, and shows like it, we'll be able to do a little bit of that.
Absolutely. Because again, when you get finished with it, it's all about discussing these issues
and then
finding a solution. Absolutely.
Yeah, and see, like tonight for me was more just to sit back. That's why, I mean, I sit back more and I listen. And to me, is that if that's the way that you guys feel about society today and how it works, to me that's sad, is that you have to feel like that in 2018.
Tell me about it.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
And if we cannot sit and talk and get over these disagreements, and me and Vader have had these conversations before, and he's like, well, it's always going to be about the white privilege. It doesn't have to be, because if we sit and make the change and we bring the communities together, like we're doing in Ferguson, then there can be change. I mean, do people have to be martyrs? Was Martin Luther King a martyr for what he did? Martin Luther King was killed by our government. 100% I agree with that. Was killed by our government.
know what? What?
No, Malcolm X. I still think Farrakhan had something to do with it, but he was killed by our government. You know, the reason why. What about with who?
Okay, we're gonna have to save that for another show, guys. Go ahead and wrap it up, Dirty.
Right. This is. Dang it! I turned it up way too loud. Sorry, Jump. I didn't mean to do that to you. Now. This is the One Nation Under the Groove. I am Dirty. Sitting across from me is the one and only, my esteemed colleague,
Lynn B.
I would like to thank our special guest.
Absolutely.
Sir, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before we let you go?
Absolutely.
Well, I'll be working on a show, and it's going to be coming back soon. I have a show called The Runaround for
Talk to us
5
about
years.
your blog. Yeah.
And it talked about stuff kind of what we're talking about tonight. It was through the Obama era, so I was dealing with race and just the issues of the day, and sometimes I drop into sports, because politics and sports are the two things I feel like I can wake me up at 3 a.m. in the morning and I have to start rolling. So I feel comfortable speaking on any of those two issues, and it'll be coming up soon. So hopefully I'll be back and we'll start promoting some shows.
And Lewis, I like to. Lewis and I actually grew up. For those of you that are just tuning in, from like what did you say, second grade?
Listen, I had so
high.
many questions, but when he started talking,
Right.
it started piquing my interest.
Oh,
Well,
well,
I couldn't ask him half the questions I wanted to ask him.
Well, one of the things, like I said, I definitely want you to come back because
Yes,
Love to.
definitely.
Love to.
I think that you would be a really good fit as one of the hosts up here to talk about politics from an African American man point of view.
Right.
We're going to take that call before we go. So there's somebody to
I
laugh
bet
at.
you these. All right, one last call before we go.
Don't hang up, you
All right, go ahead, caller. Is this Vader?
Yeah. Hold on, I got to turn it down. Do what now?
We have a whole lot of stuff. First of all, I was speaking, nobody spoke back in time, right? But you're right, you have a lot of these conversations.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, either your black friends, or I'm going to say they're like leaders, and I'm going to call it like leader. And even if I feel like you all track, and they're saying like, I'm going to challenge you and call you on it.
And I have no problem with that as long as we keep it respectful, fellas, all right? Or any show, Vader. All right, good night, sweetie. All right.
Joe, do you want to plug anything before you go?
I just want to say the last thing is, I disagree with Journey about comedy and the right. I'm not a fan of her, but she's a very intelligent woman because she did get by with what she was doing.
Yeah.
I'll give her credit.
Hey, the woman has a tanker like named after.
She was a Republican. She was a Republican. I don't like any Republican. If they're white or black.
Now, let me tell you something. See, now I'm a little different on that. I'm actually an independent. Because there was a Republican. I was actually considering voting for. Was it Joe Lieberman?
Lieberman was a Democrat, but then he kind of became an independent.
Okay, here. How about it this way?
And I was
By the
definitely
way, John McCain just said this past week that he should have picked Lieberman instead of Lieberman.
That was an idiot. Okay, I'll put it this way.
That was a stupid.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
I did not like. Oh God, I really would take W back though.
I love George W. Lewis. You know why I like George W. Lewis? Hey, Lewis, don't you know he would have partied with us back in the day?
Are you kidding me?
George W.
That dude
He would have hung
been-
out with us. He would have been
He
part
would have been snorting lines off of me.
Now, we weren't into coke back then. That wasn't our drug of choice.
All right, go ahead, Jump.
After Donald Trump, I think we're going to give a lot of people a second chance.
Right. I'll take W back. Jump, you want to plug anything before we let you go?
Hey, it was great meeting with the Kincaid. I wish you continued success. And
Thank you.
hey, we just got to keep fighting the fight.
Absolutely.
There you go, exactly.
All right, and any last words, Lewis, before we let you go?
Like I said, I enjoyed it. I'm going to get my radio show started back up in the next month.
Excellent.
The runaround, and I enjoyed it tonight. We got to almost everything, but it's probably not enough.
Oh my goodness, we got to have you come back on.
We can keep going.
Right.
We can keep going. I can keep going for an hour.
Let me plug my Sunday brunch. Don't forget, this Sunday, Mother's Day. So
Are you doing it?
I will be actually taking Sunday off.
Oh,
So
good for you.
thank you. What do you have planned for Mother's Day?
Nothing. Cutting the grass.
Okay, Mama.
We already saw her. Saw her last week.
Okay.
I saw her last week.
You better have something nice for her.
No. See, what she wanted for Mother's Day was all of her kids and grandkids.
Oh, okay.
So we could,
Oh, for
we
your
could,
mom?
yeah, because she's going through the cancer and all that.
Oh, right.
So we could only do it last week. We did it last weekend. So yeah.
Exactly.
So I think I'm just gonna spend some special time.
There you go. Quality
my
time.
lady.
Absolutely.
After I cut the grass.
Okay, so the station will probably be closed on Sundays for Mother's Day. So I'll catch you guys back here next Thursday on
One Nation
Under a Groove.
And make sure you go to the Facebook page and check out all the shows on there.
Right.
Sorry we didn't plug any of the shows. We just got too excited tonight, and you guys all suck.
All right, night, guys. You're so bad. All right, Louis, thank you so much. Great job. Don't it go fast? It goes so quick. When we did the impromptu for the Bill Cosby show, we sat up here, we up here like 3 hours. Yes. And it was just really like, let me sign that for you. I want you to take that with you, okay? And start looking at some of our
That's some you read.
and grab them now, because some of these are still under $1 a share. Exactly.
I found it. Did you see what happened to Bitcoin the other day? $250.